Many horrors were witnessed earlier in the day by Hilma. Great scores of undead dinosaurs walk the land. Thankfully, the only threat close to her home right now is a pack of grinning coyotes, mutants, but mutants that still have pelts that could help keep her warm come winter. She'd spent much of the last few days crafting and preparing, but right now, a successful hunt would feel very, very good. And so, with spear in hand, Hilma readies herself. Kia ora, Legionnaires, Rycon here, and welcome back to Cataclysm Innawood. We're here with Hilma Baron. And yes, you heard correct. We're going to go back out after those horrible coyotes. Yeah, we don't want them to be out there for too long, killing the innocent creatures around us. No, that won't help us. In fact, it will make things worse because many of those creatures can come back to life as undead. And that's a spiraling problem that we want to try and keep under control. There are many projects that Hilma could and probably should be working on right now, but the idea of getting a little bit of blood and getting a healthy amount of pelts, that sounds pretty good to me. So we're going to make sure that we are prepared specifically for hunting. So there's a few things that we can do to make that easier for us. For one, we want to make sure that we are not carrying as much with us. So in our possession, we have our wooden spear, but we've also got the staff sling with a few rocks loaded in our pack. If we are going to fight, we're probably going to want to try and see if we can injure things at a distance with the staff sling and then start stabbing with our wooden spear. At least that will be the plan. We're not going to do any butchery out there. I'd like to drag everything back down with us, so we'll see whether or not we are going to be able to achieve that. Back outside we go, and it seems like it's clear-ish. This time we are going to be leaving Ryan behind, as we're going to try and take care of this just by ourselves, which is, going to be difficult enough as it is. Okay, so we have spotted a grinning coyote over to the west, and it looks like there is one to the south. The closest one to us is to the west, though, I believe. Let's have a look and see what we're looking at. Okay, yeah, let's go for the one that's over towards the west. Okay, it has seen us already, and hey, we can already start aiming at it. This thing is pretty fast, however. We'll try and get as good of a shot as we can, and that's a pretty damn decent hit. 18 damage. This thing is bleeding, so we're actually going to start running now, get some more distance. And the great thing about coyotes is that they do freak out like this, and now it looks like it's going to try and run away. It's kind of waiting. It's injured. Another great hit there. Fantastic. Okay, so it's really taking off now, so we'll see if we can kind of keep up with it. Eventually, it'll either die from blood loss, or it will decide that it wants to come back and try and take a swing at us. So we'll just keep an eye on it for now. There we go. It's dead. Brilliant. Okay, a very good start. Let's not underestimate the power of the staff sling. Okay, so we've got another one over there. It can't see us right now, so we'll try and get a little bit closer. Nothing to pick up. Okay, but that is in range, and it's getting towards us fast, so we want to try and get as good of a aim as possible. That's a really good hit, and that's brought our practical throwing skill up from where it was before. Instantly, we've done some pretty serious damage. We'll start to run back. It starts to run, so we'll aim up yet again. You can see that it's gone hostile. Oh, a great hit. 21 damage, and there we go. It is bled to death. We'll be sure to go and pick up our rocks as well, because, free ammunition, and we'll just collate these bodies together, and we'll see if we can track down where the others might be. Right, we're going to leave these corpses here for the time being, and we'll start to stretch out towards the others and see if we can track them down. We should also maybe check on these corpses here as well, because some of them are still okay, these little hatchlings. If we can bring them back with us, we could still get some meat out of them. And there we go. We do have more, and they're down to the south by the looks of things. Yup. So we'll try and get them on our radar if we can. Maybe baiting just one. Okay, we got your attention. That's good. What's our range like? Okay. Oh, there's 3. Right, this is a little bit more than I would like to be fighting right this second, so we'll just turn and run, and we'll start to steady up our shot. Oh boy. It takes a second to ready this thing, which is frightening. Okay, we're pretty steady now. A grazing hit. That's very bad for us. So I'm going to try and yell. Okay, that got it to freak out. Okay, let's start going again. Yeah, it just takes us a moment to ready it, so it's better for us to try and scare it off, as I'm okay with it trying to charge towards us now, as I don't think it's going to. It's hurt. It's unsure whether or not it wants to try and come any closer towards us. A miss. That's unfortunate. Steady up yet again. There we go. A good hit, and the creature is dead. We'll slow to a walk. Let's try and see if we can pick up some of these rocks here. There we go. And let's have a look at the others that are down here. So you're tracking right now. The other one doesn't know where we are. That's okay. I kind of just want to get this one's attention. There we go. We got it. We got that attention. And yeah, just the first second that we take to steady up, we can see it makes a big advancement towards us. Oh boy, that's not great. Try and yell again. Okay. Yelling's working. That's good. Hilma has quite a set of lungs on her, it seems. Steadying up and striking. A good damn strike at that. Another, a good hit, and I think it's going to start doing its run now because it's, it's bleeding. It should be down before too long. Is it going to make it down towards the other one, though, is my next question. You know what? It's still okay for now, which is a little concerning. I'm trying to remember that it has just gone directly south. We'll follow the blood trail. As for you, that's as good as we're going to get, and that is a very good hit, but it's not enough to make it freak out yet. There we are. Sometimes it just takes a second for it to get the fear, and it's definitely afraid now. Badly bleeding. It's gonna be dead before too long. So let's just go pick up these rocks, and we'll see if we can track down these bodies. I think the reason why it takes a second for us to kind of steady up is because it's actually kind of simulating us spinning the rock, like getting it up to speed. There we go. We've got a corpse and another corpse. Fantastic. So I'm going to gather up these bodies, and we're going to gather up the poor little hatchlings, the other coyotes as well that we've got so far. And we're going to take them all back and do a whole heap of butchery. Okay, so we've got them on the spot there now, which is where we want to have them. Let's just take off our gloves for now, our gauntlets, because I don't want to be kind of slowed down. We'll drop the staff sling off as well. Okay, play with our chick for a little bit. Yeah, that's good. And now, having a look at each of these, I want to go through and I want to skin them individually because, we've noticed that the full butchery, sometimes it can screw up. And of course, we can also screw up this process as well. But I think we stand a better chance at succeeding. Just doing it one by one. And that's pelts from every one of them so far, which is great. We'll also... okay. We can't skin the hatchlings. We can still get something from them though. We'll do a full butchery on all of the hatchlings that are here. And something else to note is that weak points have been added in just recently. If we dissect the corpse, we can learn about specific weak points it has, and we can try and target those in fights, or rather, our character will target those weak points. So with us maybe, dissecting some big dinosaurs, it means that we'd lose out on the resources. At least I think we will. Yeah. We'd also need to have a kind of scalpel-like implement. Okay, right. This stage, we'll just go and have a little bit of a snack. Just grapes for the time being, as we do have a fair amount of meat here. And as for the rest of them here, I think we'll probably just go and just say butcher everything. And it's going to take us 2 hours to do a full butchery here, which, we don't really need, but at the same time, we don't want to have low yields. You know what? It's 2 hours. Let's do it. Okay. All right. We managed to keep on working throughout, I imagine, a fair bit of the night, but I'm kind of okay with that because we've been waking up very, very early. Well, we've been waking up at midnight. The sun does set later and later as it kind of gets towards winter. So for now, we are going to... Are we going to try and process some of this stuff? Well, yeah, I mean, the mutant knees, and honestly, all of this stuff, and I should have already thought about that before spending 2 hours doing it, isn't going to be great for us. We can probably still turn the mutant fat into oil. Yeah, I think the rest of it is going to be fuel for the fire. And I do know that we can still eat some of the stuff and be okay as long as we're kind of monitoring how much we're bringing in terms of toxins, but I just don't think it's going to be worth us doing that when we have so much else in the way of food options. So we'll look at dealing with those pelts in the morning. We did manage to get 10, which is super cool. We're definitely going to be able to make a cloak out of that, I believe. But for now, I say, let's just have something to eat and drink, and we'll have a good sleep. Okay, no idea what time of day it is, but we need to get going. We need to get started, so we'll start up this lamp. We don't need to have the fire going just yet unless we are wanting to do cooking, which we're not exactly wanting to do. Yeah, we are just wanting to cure these pelts to begin with. And the sun has risen. Wonderful. Let's go drop these cured pelts off. And finally, we can make another, at least maybe more than one. Oh no, we do need to have a fire going for the tanning fur pelt. We could make a charcoal smoker down here just for these kind of small cooking jobs. It's probably going to be more efficient for us in the long run to have something like that. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to see if I can quickly put that together for us. And I think the easiest thing to do for now is probably just go and deconstruct this. Yep, excellent. Drag it all downstairs with us. Righto, smoking rack. Let's chuck it in there. We'll use some of those long sticks. And we've finished construction on it. So we're going to make sure that we load this with charcoal. Charcoal that we're of course going to pick up first. All right, and we'll chuck that on into here. Hopefully that works out okay. Yeah, that's my goal. And so with that means that we don't need to have this fire going all the time. We've got some scraps of meat that we can quickly cook though, so let's do that. So I want to make sure that we're using the meat scraps here. We can make 3 fried meat from that. Yeah, use the scraps, thank you. We don't want to be using the mutant scraps if we can avoid doing that. There we go, lovely. Now at this stage, we can make those tanning fur pelts, and we actually are able to make 2 of them. Brilliant. We'll use the raw mutant brains. Put them to use. Excellent. Okay, so now we just need to let those kind of rest, and I think tomorrow, or at least maybe late tonight, we'll be able to roll them out. So what are we going to work on for the time being? I do think being able to make beams will be useful, so getting to the next stage of axe is going to be important for us, and the easiest one for us to make, the one that's going to take the least amount of time, is a bronze axe. We are going to need some more bronze, however, so let's have a look and see how that will look for us. We can make a lot of bronze, and it will take only an hour to do so. So let's go and... Oh, we don't have enough charges, of course. Let's not start crafting, and that's going to be our forge that we need to recharge. We'll take the charcoal out of that for now, and it would be amazing if we could use some coal. We do definitely have more coal elsewhere, and we obviously have more charcoal up the top. I think I'll just go and bring some of that down. Alright, so we've got 2,400 charcoal coming downstairs with us. We're leaving 2,000 charcoal up the top. And yes, onwards we go. We probably don't want to put all of that into here, but we'll put a fair chunk. We'll say maybe just 800 for now. That should be enough in the way of charge. We'll drop the rest of that charcoal off. And yeah, so I don't know if I mentioned properly before with this one, but we're not going to be activating it. We're just using it for cooking, and it doesn't smoke out the place when we do it like that. Right, but yes, bronze. This is going to take how many charges? Oh, 900? Okay, we need a little bit more. All right, that thing's locked and loaded now. Let's get to it. Very quickly, we've got a whole heap of bronze. So let's have a look at this axe then. Bronze axe. Tree cutting of 2. I mean, yeah, it's actually just better in general than the wood axe. The wood axe does more damage for sure, but yeah, bronze axe, very, very good tool. 7 hours and 23 minutes for us to do it, and we get the chance to improve at manual tooling. So let's get this thing started. We will use some of our plant fiber to do that. We will use one of the sticks nearby, and we'll get this thing done. Okay, all right, we're going to stop at that point there. We managed to get to nearly 60%. We are very weary, and the sun has just gone down, so we'll head to bed. which will mean that we will wake up early, but that's all right. We should be warm enough in our little shelter tonight. We'll have something to eat and drink before we call it a night. You know, maybe just a little bit of tallow for old time's sake. Some berries to, you know, ease things out a little bit there, and some water to wash it all down. Okay, time to call it a night, Hilma. There we are. We're fresh. We are chilly. I don't think that's going to bother us too much down here. We are going to have to use our lamp in the morning, most certainly. Yeah, no, this, it's saying we're cold. We're not that cold. We do have some cattail stalks that we can get cooked up. We'll spend the first part of the morning working on that. We're just using our smoker to cook those. Nice and easy. Excellent. We'll go ahead and munch on them for now. They're not going to make us very happy, but that's fine. I think we've got a few rhizomes that we can roast. Yeah, we'll just do the 6 of them. They're a little bit more calorific. We'll leave the other one for later, and we'll make sure that we actually have something to drink too, just once we can. For the time being, we will keep on working on the bronze axe, and there we are. Done. A bronze axe is in our hand, and it's, you know, well before the sun has actually risen. We still have more logs down here. We are going to be able to chop those logs into beams, and I think that's going to be the first thing that we end up doing, just of course after we have some of that delicious water there. Right, so the beam is what we need before we can get the, you know, the long pole, and this is all to make a big old pike. So yeah, heavy wooden beam, an hour. Let's put that axe down, start chopping away. And this is hard work, but we got it done. Jeez. Yeah, we're already very weary, which isn't great. So we'll kind of have to try and manage that today as best we can. We managed to get a fair amount of splintered wood from that as well. We'll have some lunch, and then we'll have a look at turning that into a long pole. Oh, I think we actually did improve our skill there with a weapon, or at some point we have. Large wooden club. Okay, oh, maybe, no, this is probably from Fabrication 8. No, it isn't, Rycon. This is from getting our bash up, because it takes 0 to make a large wooden club. It looks like we've got some new stuff in armor as well. Let's have a look at torso. Makeshift poncho. Okay, from a garbage bag. Under tools, we have a vacuum pump, an improvised oven. Ooh. And in containers, we have a wooden box and a small wooden box. They seem to be quite nicely made. And we can carry up to 50 liters worth of stuff in a wooden box. You know, that could be an interesting way to keep some of our tools and whatnot. What I was gonna try and do was just make some crates. That's one of the easiest things for us to make. One thing that we do need to look at making as well is a table. Yeah, wild, I know. And we've been sitting on this, you know, block of wood for a while. We might want to make a chair. But first of all, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Lunch. Wow. 5 hours and 40 minutes to get a long pole here. Jeez, it's going to take a while, and we're actually going to be using either lamp oil or tallow in this process. I'm fine with us using tallow because, well, we've got a lot of it still. We'll just start chipping away at this, quite literally. And we have to stop quite quickly. We're 22% in. We're extremely weary, so what I'm probably going to do is just have a little bit of a lay down for now. Yeah, let's have some of that tallow to satisfy our cravings. We'll just have ourselves a rest. Okay, we've just been having a lie down. We're moderately weary now, so I think we're going to be able to work on this for a little longer. And the sun has set. The day's labors are taking their toll on us. I was going to see if we could work just a little bit longer because we aren't weary anymore. We'll use some of our lamp oil up to be able to do it, and I think we'll just work until we get to weary or extreme. All right, that's enough. All right, day 23. I think we're going to do the harvest outside on day 28, like right towards the end of autumn. At least that's my plan at this stage. All right, breakfast time. And bam, we have a long pole. Took us a while to get it done. That is the start of a pretty impressive weapon. So, having a look at these options here, I believe the copper pike is still going to be a great option for us. It only takes an hour and 25 minutes to make it, as opposed to the pike, which takes a very long time. It is better. It's definitely better. I mean, we've been spending time, right? Maybe we do go all the way. We need to have an extra leather patch to be able to make it, but I think that's totally doable. We just need to find one of our tanned hides around here. Okay, disassembly takes 2 minutes and it might yield 6 leather patches. That sounds good to me. Let's try and disassemble it. Okay, 6 leather patches, just like that. Oh, and before I forget, let's see if we can activate the tanning fur pelts. Excellent. Drop that one on the ground and that one as well. Done. Right, yeah, we can make the pike now. It won't take as long once we learn bladesmithing and carving. We can learn them by doing this process. So yeah, investing the time now means when we work on things in the future, it isn't going to take us anywhere near as long as this will. Okay, extremely weary, and at the end of the day, we're nearly halfway through, so we're going to keep at this again in the morning. And bam! We're now proficient in carving, and we have a pike. There it is. There it is. 32 piercing damage. This has a long reach, so multiple squares that we can get with this thing. That is a beautiful weapon if I've ever seen one. We can see that it is a well-made weapon, which means it will withstand the punishment of combat. We like to see it. The techniques that it has up here, we've got Impaling Strike, Attack, Target, and another one behind it. So if we can line them up well, that'll be really nice. We need to have a melee skill of 4 to be able to do that. And it also has block. It has a medium blocking ability tied to it. Oh, and in a pinch, we can cook food with it just by piercing something on the end of it. It is a medieval weapon consisting of a wooden shaft tipped with an iron spearhead. I'm impressed. I am impressed. Alright, well now that we've got that difficult thing out the way, the next thing I did want to have a look at was that spinning wheel yet again. And the spin wheel is a spinning wheel. It is the correct one. So we need to have enough planks and we need to have enough long strings to be able to make this thing. We can nearly get there with the long strings. We've got a lot of plant fiber at the moment, but we'd need just a little bit more to be able to get there. I mean, we could focus on just chopping planks at the moment, but we can also get wood from elsewhere. What I would like to try and do is something that I feel like will just make more sense for us to do at this stage, and that's to try and make something called a travois. I've talked about it before in the past, and it is something that Hilma will be able to haul herself. We are going to need some planks, which we already have some of, and we need to start off with a basic wooden frame, I believe. And some of you might be able to get what I'm thinking at here. You see, I would like for us to go over to the other cave, chop down trees there, and get resources at the same time, minerals, ideally. So that will be my plan with that. Having a look at frames, we can actually make a foldable frame right now. We can also make a wooden frame. Now, this generally wouldn't take us that long to do, but we need to have basic carpentry. We don't have it yet, but still half an hour? That ain't bad. Let's try it out. And just like that, we have a wooden frame down here. So with that wooden frame, we can turn it into a vehicle. Because this is a ramp, we should be able to drag vehicles up and down ramps. Worst case scenario, we could just take it apart, but I'm going to start a vehicle construction down here. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Start vehicle construction, and we're going to construct it right there. Okay, and this is going to be called Travis. Travis the Travois. At least that'll be the plan for Travis. Let's go and examine this vehicle here, and if we go install, we can see what we can put on this thing. And a travois, yes, that's what we're looking for here. So we just need a light wooden frame, and we also need to have a cordage rope. So the issue with the light wooden frames is that they do rely on cordage ropes, which kind of leads us back to the whole needing to have a spin wheel to speed up the process of turning fiber into things. So yeah, hey, we've got a frame for now. We have the basic start of a vehicle. Whether or not we're actually going to use that, yeah, I don't think so. I feel like that's wishful thinking. It will take us longer to get resources back, but I don't think it's going to take as long as weaving all of that fiber. Right, I did want to check to see whether or not we did have everything we would need to be able to make the fur cloak. We do, and it only takes 10 hours for us to do it, so I'm not that afraid anymore when it comes to that. We went to hits, we can make this thing quickly. Oh, and As for what we're going to be wearing on our mid layer, Gambeson. 100% Gambeson. It's got great warmth. I did talk about the hoodie for a little while. We can make the Gambeson with just straight up rags. And of course, we will need to make some bronze buttons as well, but we can totally do that. And of course, for the rags, spin wheel. Spin wheel is needed, so I think that's what we try to work towards now. We're going to need a lot of wood. And as much as I would like to go all the way over here, chop down some trees and haul them all back, hauling that amount of wood back will take a very, very long time. So I think we're just going to do some general lumbering out here. So let's look at heading outside with our bronze axe in hand, and we'll chop down some trees. We will try and chop down the dead trees where we see them. So yeah, let's go chop this tree down. And we want it to fall to the west, thank you. Excellent. So we still need to turn these trunks into logs. It's going to be a bit of a process, and we're going to get quite tired through doing it. Yeah. And I'm glad that we've done this closer to home, because dragging that stuff downstairs is going to take a while. We're already extremely wary. Let's head back inside. All right, and bringing them back down here, we did manage to get some planks. Got some splinters at the same time, but 9 planks, which I think is the kind of standard that we'd expect to get from a log. We aren't tired yet, but we are extremely wary. So I want to be cautious in how far we push things. But thinking about that Gambeson, we are going to need some bronze buttons. So we might be able to make some of them, huh? Yeah, and we do save quite a bit of time doing them in a batch. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to start it, but we are probably not going to finish this thing tonight. Yeah, there we go. We'll finish at 10%. Good morning. Here we are on day 25, the morning of. We are going to get to work on those buttons. There we go. It's not a very labor-intensive process for us to do it. We've got 70 bronze buttons, so I feel like that's going to be our buttons done for a long, long time. And theoretically, the good thing about that is we should be able to melt them down if we don't need to have all of them. But that's going to be for bags, it's going to be for clothing. Yeah, we probably didn't need that many, but the work is done. So for that spin wheel, we do need to have 20 planks and the 15 long strings. So let's start on those planks first of all. Whoa, that was incredibly fast. Yeah, when we're not tired, we saw these things real quick, and that's 10 planks just like that done. So that's all the planks that we need for that at this stage. Next up is going to be those long strings. So there is no time saving from doing our long strings as a batch, so we're just going to do them one at a time here. Okay, and I believe we actually did as much of that as we possibly could. Yeah, so we have 11 nearby. So how then do we get more of the plant fiber? Easiest way, we just got to go and harvest some more cattails. So we've got the fiber mat, we've got our pike in hand. We're going to drop off some of the other little bits and pieces that we don't need, but yeah, we're going to go out. If we see anything that we can kill along the way, we'll probably just do some light butchery to try and get a skin out of it. But yeah, we'll see if we can test out this pike. The main thing though is getting those cattails for the plant fiber. And this is going to be an expedition that we bring Ryan out for. So let's mount up Ryan and let's ride on out of here. Oh yeah, it's midday. We got the time to do this. So we do have a pond with cattails up here that I supposedly haven't harvested yet. There's also this one. I doubt that is true, but I mean, we can always stop along the way and check this out, can't we? Well, I guess I didn't lie. There is one cattail here, and there's an Aoraptor around. Just little chicken thing. All right, well, let's grab that cattail and we'll get on moving out of here. Hey, Blinky, good to see you. Oh, right, we'll jump off. There we go. Back on Ryan. Let's move on to our next point, avoiding that bobcat for now. That might be more trouble than it's worth. I mean, there's a potential pelt in it though, right? Possibly. The chihuahua could be an issue as well. It looks like the bobcat's run off. Okay. All right, we're nearly at the next destination, and okay, there are actually cattails here. Sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this as well, just to say pond, as that's what it is now, and we're going to do the same for this one. You know, there is a chance in the future that there could be other cattails here, but for now, we know that we have actually harvested them all. Ryan, how about you just chill out here for now, yeah? Okay, well, we managed to convert them into plant fiber. We've got 210 at this stage. We do still have some rhizomes left. If we cook them up, we'll get some plant fiber from them. So that's what we shall do. Doggo. Oh, I really, really want to tame you. Okay, right. We need dog food and we need to come back to this point here. Doggo. Noted. We'll be back, my friend. We will. All right, Ryan. I think a new good spot for us to keep Ryan is probably going to be just right around about here, huh? Let's jump on off, tie you up, and let's go make some more string. Goose! It's a goose! Our friend is a goose. It's a friendly Canadian goose. Well, okay. All right, we know what we got now. We've got a Canadian goose. So, goose cannot be mounted. Noted. We can attach a leash to the goose. We can equip the goose with armor, and we can attach a bag to it. We can't play with our goose anymore, though, unfortunately. But our Canadian goose is going to need a name, so I would love to know what your suggestions are going to be for our friend here. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna lay eggs down here, which, you know, that's cool. I hope. Well, maybe. We'll see, hey? Right, but back to the long strings. Oh, we can make one long string. Oh, that's depressing. Yeah, okay. Oh boy. And how much do we need for it again? Oh, we're close, but that's gonna be another fair amount of fiber that we're going to need, huh? Okay, well, we're still going to get some more from cooking up the rhizomes. That is something that we can still do tonight. Right, let's have a look at those. Roasted rhizomes. We can make 7 of them, and we are going to get some, you know, stuff back from this. At least I thought that we got it back from making the roast rhizomes. Maybe we don't, but regardless, it's still going to be worthwhile. Not enough charges. You need more charcoal, huh? Okay, we can make 5. We'll do that for now. And that means we've got something to eat tonight. Our calorie intake is fine, although our weight's gone back down to normal. I tell you what, I have been keeping the calorie intake up to huge each day, but apparently that's still not enough. We didn't have enough fat on us. Well, we know how to change that, don't we? Yeah. Oh boy. Well, okay. Cool, thanks. And we've got 19 plant fiber left, so yeah, we don't get anything from doing it that way. Okay, fine. Well, I'll tell you what, I am definitely still keen to get that spinning wheel made, but we are going to have to go back out there. We are going to have to try and track down some more cattails, and we know one area where they seem to be incredibly prevalent, and that is alongside the river. We also know how dangerous the river can be. Yeah. So we have things that we need to do, don't we? But those will be things that we do in the next. Seeing that doggo out there, I think we might want to try and make some dog food too. We will need to get some fresh meat for that, so, you know, we might actually have to do some hunting while we're out there. It's a dangerous world, for sure. But that pike can make a big difference. I look forward to trying it out, and I hope we can do so of our own volition. I mean, hey, I was super impressed with how well the sling staff worked today. I mean, we took down all of those grinning coyotes without too much trouble, being able to keep distance and really hammer in that damage before they even got close to us. Fighting smart is how we are going to survive, Hilma. And so, Legion, as we are at the end, I ask you all, if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving a comment or a like to let me know if you enjoyed the show. For now, I have been Rycon. You have all been awesome. And until next time, stay tuned.